Hello again, my friends. I am reviewing today a Baltany, another one. I do like reviewing Baltanys for many reasons, and the main one is because they kindly keep sending them to me for free. How fabulous. But actually, it's quite easy to talk about these watches because even though they keep sending me freebies, they are extremely well made. They're very pretty, and they pay strong homages to watches which you don't normally get homages to. And what is an homage? Well, that is something this watch is very much strongly leaning a little bit too much towards a Hamilton. And let's see if you can bother saving up a few more pounds or pennies or dollars for a Hamilton, or do you just go straight in with one of these for comfortably under £200 and go, you know what, I've still got a fabulous watch and it's in my budget. We're going to discover all that in today's video. Let's get on with it. Now, before we get into the review of this lovely watch, you're going to need to know a quick amount of detail regarding the stats and specs. So here is a quick time lapse. Here they are. Now, as customary to my review style, I like to start off with things I am not so sure about with this watch, so you can get that out of the way and you understand if this is your bag or not. So let's start with what I am not 100% happy with regards to this watch. My first slight criticism, for me, aesthetically, is the thickness. It's a little bit chunky for a relatively short watch with a relatively small case width. A little bit chunky, in my opinion. The date wheel layout, that is a slightly weird one. Look at where 15 is for the 24-hour clock. It's slightly squished over to the left. I know the Hamilton that this is paying very strong homage to, i.e. cloning, is the same thing. Or I just think it's a difficult place to have a date wheel and a permanent number for the time working together, because it just knocks your eye off a bit. I don't know if this is working in harmony, this area, and I don't know if they line up very well perfectly either. But I like the fact that they've gone to attention to detail to have it as a black date wheel. But it's just something ever so slightly off. That's what I'm getting at. Another thing is there's zero polish anywhere. Lovely blingy dial, but there's no tiny little polished elements which would have really lifted this. Not necessarily a polished bezel. I'm thinking maybe some chamfers on the between the mid case and the top of the lugs. That would have been quite nice. Just something to break this up a bit. And definitely not a polished case back, because that would not be a valid place to put polishing, because it's the worst place. So top of the lugs, maybe some chamfers. That would have been cool if that was polished. Apart from this bit on the dial where it says Baltany, there's no branding anywhere else other than actually on the strap. But on the body of the watch itself, nothing. Would have been nice to have a signed crown, maybe some detail on the case back, something just to lift this from looking like it's been made in a generic AliExpress shop and they've just stuck their own little dial on it, because Baltany are better than that. Add a bit more to your watches, guys. For me, this dial in this light, it can go from looking like that, almost black, to in that light there, very dark blue, to when the light hits it, it really pops. Gorgeous, very lovely blue. But I don't think it pops enough. I think they could do more. I think it needs a bit more depth to it. And lastly, this is the big one. Is this too much of a clone? The Hamilton this is paying extremely strong homage to is still available now. I like a lot of the other Baltanys where they make watches of watches gone by, ones you can't buy anymore, watches from like 100 years ago or from World War I or II. Those for me are cool because they don't make those watches anymore. There's nothing close to it. But this is very close to something you can buy this very day for not a dramatic amount more money. But we'll get to that more in a bit, because money is money at the end of the day. This is less than £200. The equivalent Hamilton is significantly more. And you know what? Money talks. If you don't want to spend more than 200 quid on a watch, you can get something like this. Now let's move on to those likes, because there are more likes than dislikes. And that for me equates to, on the whole, I like this watch a lot, because it's generally how it works. I like the price. £165 is not unreasonable, but I like the simplicity of the design. Field watch. Keep it clean, keep it simple, add a little pizzazz to with a blue dial and a tan strap, and you've got something that's got some classy elements, yet it's simplistic and it's got that military-esque look to it with the 24-hour increments on the inner ring here and the big sword hands, etc. Very legible, really good fun. Said it before, black and white date wheel. I like that they've actually gone to that attention to detail, because I think it would have stood out and been a bit of a sore thumb if it was in the white and black it was the other way round. So I think that's good that they've input that. Specification is great. Clear AR double dome sapphire crystal, bit of a mouthful. All adds up to basically something which is scratch resistant, legible in all light conditions, very nice shine to it, good quality, premium material to use, even though it's dirt cheap when you find out how much it costs to actually manufacture. It's a joke that people charge what they charge for bloody sapphire. It's grown in a factory. It's just it's a joke anyway, a separate subject. But then the NH35 running nicely in this watch, a good Seiko movement. The lume is rather excellent. It's a good specification for a fairly simple watch. Dial colour in the sun, that's the critical thing, in the sun, is stunning. It's a gorgeous blue. I love blue. Really has some lovely depth to it. Sunburst, really plays with the light. Gorgeous. And I've said the lume, but it really is good. It's amazing for printed lume. It doesn't have deep indices to be filled with 15 layers of the stuff, which I often do on a lot of dive watches. These dials, it's difficult to get a good amount of lume on, but they've done an exceptionally good job with this watch at this price. To have this quality of lume in the dial and hands, very good indeed. Legibility in poor light conditions is still extremely good. And that again adds to making this feel like a quality product. The leather strap is very good indeed. I do like Baltany watches, the straps they use for this price point. Sealed edges, that means you don't have a bare leather, so durability is better. The stitching is very neat, as you can see here. You've got the embossed logo there. Brushed hardware to match the watch. The length of the strap is just right. Really nice indeed. As you can see from the length, I have an average wrist, so I'm about halfway. For the average man, this is going to fit you very well. You've got plenty of scope either way, maybe an inch bigger, inch smaller. It's going to fit you very nicely. And for a watch this case size, it's going to cover most wrists as well. The hand lengths, I think they've got this spot on. Just look at this, it's absolutely perfect. Just where the tip of this hour hand is just kissing the hours. The tip of the minute hand is just tickling along there on the minute track. And then we've got the lovely, very bright red tipped seconds hand, perfectly just hitting the very outside edge of this minute and second track here. Very lovely, really good attention to detail. It drives me mad when they get the length of hands wrong on watches. They've done good here. And I love a large crown. It's so nice to just easily grab hold of it, give it a good unscrewing, wind it, adjust the time. Again, very easy with you've got a big crown, just to pop it, make your adjustments. Really good. Smooth action on the hands when you're adjusting the time. Pop it back in, screw it back down. All very straightforward. That's another testament to the build quality and attention to detail. So as you can see, I do like this watch, but it doesn't pluck at the heartstrings as much as I would like it to. I just am wanting something a little bit more. I don't know what it is from Baltany. The quality of their watches is outstanding. They're very pretty. I think I'm expecting now a little bit more attention to detail, some more etchings on the case back, maybe signed crowns, some little extra pizzazz, which is going to draw me in more and just go, you know what, for under £200, competing with a lot of very big mainstream competitors out there in the big bad world, they've got to do something that's just going to make it a little bit even more amazing to get you to spend your hard-earned money as opposed to spending a little bit more on something which is made in Switzerland or something which is Japanese. Who knows? That's the thing. I just want that little bit extra. What do you want? You let me know what you think that they should be doing to make these watches. Slap you around the face and go, buy me. And speaking of slapping around the face, that's what I'm going to do now if you haven't subscribed yet. So get on that subscribe button. If you've seen me before and you like my content, it's free. Just get on with it. Go on and click one of these other videos. Come on. There's more videos. I've done loads. Come on. Click on it. Watch me. Have fun. Buy loads of watches and get yourself in horrendous amounts of debt. And don't blame me. Bye for now.